Okay, what up, it's Dane, and in this video I'm going to be telling you how to lose fat and build muscle at the same time for men, right? Like the holy grail question, so I've got your back. Let's get it. So first of all, the answer is is this even possible? And the answer is yes. You definitely can build muscle while losing fat at the same time. But they're going to be like 3 scenarios that I'll cover. So first scenario is that you need to understand that it's personal preference, right? There are a lot of factors that play a part in this. For example, scenario 1 is, let's just say a newbie, he's overweight, he's fat, and just coming into the gym for the first time, just exercising, getting healthy, and he's really overweight and he wants to lose weight but he wants to gain muscle at the same time. For that type of person, it's definitely possible to pack on muscle while losing fat. In fact, he can build quite a lot of muscle and still lose fat at the same time while being in a calorie deficit, right? So calorie deficit equals weight loss, a calorie surplus equals muscle gain in a normal status quo, right? That's what you normally need to do. But in this case, this guy can get all the results he really wants, lose fat and build muscle. So if you're a person that's just starting the gym, like just right now, you're a newbie, a beginner, you can lose fat and build muscle at the same time in a big calorie deficit, right? So that's scenario 1. Scenario 2, on the other hand, is someone that's maybe coming back from training, they've lost all their motor learning patterns, all this kind of stuff, had an injury or something like this, put on a lot of weight. They can come back to training, they can be overweight, but they can still again build muscle in a calorie deficit, right? They can still do this. Hence why, if you've been training for a long period of time, you get injured, you shouldn't really be stressed out too much, because you can come back, in fact, even stronger, right? That's what people say, coming back stronger, because you can come back, lose fat quickly, and regain that muscle and strength quickly as well. So those are the 2 scenarios right now. Scenario number 3, if you're still with us, is this applies to the masses. For example, if you're not a real beginner, right? And in fact, this does actually apply to beginners, so just keep this in mind. And especially the skinny ones. So if you're not a fat beginner and you're just getting into the gym, this one's for you. So scenario 3 is for someone, just an average individual that's been training for about, let's just say 1 year, right? This person can still build muscle in a calorie deficit. However, the calorie deficit can't be too aggressive, meaning if you're in a 1,000 calorie deficit and you've been training for 1 year and you're expecting to gain a lot of muscle, it's not going to happen. If you're in, like, say, a 200, maybe 500 calorie deficit, you probably can still gain some muscle. However, it's going to be very minimal, and I'll get into that right now. So think about it. What is the point of being in a 200 calorie deficit, trying to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, which is definitely not optimal? It's definitely not. I don't care what you say, I don't care who tells you this shit is not optimal. What you need to do, if you've like been training for 1 year, or maybe a little bit more, or even just say half a year, this is what you need to do. Yeah, half a year, you don't need to try and build muscle and lose fat at the same time. It's not optimal. If you're a skinny guy especially, you want to follow these principles, right? So you want to be eating in a calorie surplus consistently, right? You need to understand that building muscle takes a lot longer than losing fat. For example, you can go on a bulk for maybe 6 to 8 months, depending on how much body fat you get, obviously. But let's just say you get to 15 to 18% body fat. That will only take you about maybe a month to drop to 12 to 13%, maybe even lower, right? Depending on how big your calorie deficit is going to be. But losing fat can take a matter of a few months, like 1 to 2 months, if you want to get like quite lean, like really lean, right? Whereas a few months of bulking, 1 to 2 months, maybe you'll gain for like maybe 4 pounds of muscle. Not even that if you've been training for 1 year, right? So maybe 3 pounds of muscle per month if you've been training more than 1 year. That's probably pushing the limits as well. So you need to understand that fat loss is a lot quicker and easier than building muscle, right? In fact, building muscle is actually the best part, because you don't need to be starving yourself, all this kind of shit. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that, what is the point of trying to lose fat and build muscle at the same time? Like, there's no point unless you just a newbie and you're fat and you're getting into the gym. Of course, that's possible. And second scenario, if you're coming back from an injury, you can so-called body recomposition. But I just generally recommend pick one. Go on a bulking cycle if you're real skinny, gain a lot of mass. Even if you're not skinny and you need a lot of mass, you need that muscle, go on a bulk, in a calorie surplus, and then do micro cuts, right? That's what all naturals do. That's what I recommend for all the natural lifters out there. Personally, I don't like going on a bulk for say 12 months and then cutting down for like say 1 to 2 months, maybe more. Firstly, I don't like cutting for that long. I'll personally just bulk until I'm losing a bit of size on my abs, particularly my lower abs, then I prefer a micro cut, and maybe 2 weeks, right? Just 2 weeks of cutting, I'm back to say 12% body fat, maybe 11 to 10%, right? Just that would do me. So that's what I recommend for natural lifters. There's no point, and it's not optimal to try and lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. It can be done, but it's going to be so minimal. You probably can't even see the results, right? So anyway, I hope this brought some value to you. I really hope it did. It is an interesting topic that a lot of people are always thinking about. So just keep that in mind. Think of it. Is it optimal? Is it not optimal? Is it worth my time? And one thing I have to mention before I end this video: if you're a beginner, if you're real skinny, and you want to gain muscle, that's your focus, right? You want to gain muscle. Why would you even focus on gaining, losing fat, like staying shredded? And that doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, as always, you already know what the deal is. Subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more videos, if you'd like to get the notifications, click the little bell down below, because I know a lot of people don't get notifications when they don't click them. Remember, 3 videos a day coming at you. If that's too much, if you can't handle the value, then just pick one. But I'll still watch all 3. So anyway, stay positive, stay smiling, and you already know the deal. I'll see you in the next one.